Hello, this is Opinion Radar. If you're anything like me, you love finding those fun, quirky pieces that add a little personality to your look without breaking the bank. Today's feature is all about something I never thought I'd get so excited over. Striped stockings. Yep, we're talking about the Leg Avenue Women's Striped Stockings, a bold little fashion pick that retails for just $8. I'll admit I was skeptical at first. Hosiery can be hit or miss, especially at this price point, but I've been in a serious mood to experiment with my style lately, and these caught my eye with their throwback aesthetic and playful energy. Whether you're dressing up for a themed event or just want to spice up your everyday vibe, accessories like these can totally shift the energy of an outfit. So I gave them a try, and wow, did they spark some thoughts. Let's dive into how they really hold up, from fit and feel to whether they're worth repeating in your rotation. Okay, so I recently picked up these Leg Avenue Women's Striped Stockings for a little Halloween costume I was putting together, and honestly, they totally exceeded my expectations for the price. I wasn't exactly banking on luxury-level hosiery at $8, but I was pleasantly surprised by how vibrant the colors looked and how solid the material felt when I first pulled them out. They have that classic retro vibe, perfect for when you're going for something fun and a little kitschy, like a pin-up look, a witch costume, or even some quirky anime cosplay. And let me tell you, they really do make a statement. I wore them with a short dress and boots for a themed party, and without sounding too extra, I got so many compliments. They added that extra pop without being over the top, and honestly, sometimes it's the little details like this that elevate your whole outfit. Comfort-wise, these stockings are a bit of a mixed bag, but not in a deal-breaker way. I'd say I'm pretty average in size, with a more muscular calf from working out, and I was relieved to find they actually stretched enough to fit over my thighs without cutting off circulation. There's definitely some snugness. Gotta keep that roll-down risk at bay, I guess. But for the first few hours, they felt fine. After wearing them for like a solid 8-hour night out, dancing included, I did notice a little discomfort at the top, and yeah, they'd inch their way down a bit. Nothing a quick tug couldn't fix, but fair warning, if you're sensitive to tight bands or hate having to adjust your tights all night long, these might take a little patience. Still, I appreciated that the material had just enough grip to stay up most of the time without needing a garter belt or anything extra. One thing I want to be real about is the thickness. These are on the thinner side, which is great for that sleek look and makes them easier to wear under boots or shoes. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they'll hold up past 1 or 2 wears. I've had tights that rip just from me sitting in a chair too hard. No joke. So I was a little nervous. So far, so good though. I've worn them twice. Once for that Halloween party, and once just casually with a skirt and booties, and no snags yet. I wash them super gently, like hand wash and air dry, because let's be real, I'm not that reckless, but I think treating them with a little care goes a long way. For $8, I'm willing to buy a backup pair in case one inevitably meets its demise due to rogue chair arm or enthusiastic dancing. I also want to talk about the fabric feel because it wasn't quite what I expected. I thought they'd have more of a knit sock texture, like those vintage style leg warmers. But instead, they feel a lot like thick pantyhose. Super smooth, kind of slick, and stretchy in a uniform way. It's not a bad thing at all, but I can see how someone might be surprised if they're going for something more textured. For me, it worked fine. They didn't bunch or slide weirdly. They just hug my legs evenly, which actually made them look more polished and less costume-y than I feared. I wore them for a theme photo shoot. Yes, I am that person. And on camera, they looked super sharp. No weird puckering or seams twisting around my calf. That visual consistency, huge for aesthetic content or even just a cute Instagram story. What I really love is how versatile these are beyond just costumes. Sure, Halloween is their prime time, but I've started wearing them for fun nights out or even just to spice up a basic skirt and tee combo. The bold stripes can either be front and center of your look or a cheeky peek boot detail under a longer hemline. I've teamed them with Mary Jane's for a retro diner vibe, and honestly, I felt like a literal 1950s bombshell. They're playful, a little flirty, and honestly, a mood booster. When I put them on, I feel more put together, like I made an effort. even if everything else came from my closet in 3 seconds flat. That's the power of fun accessories, right? Of course, they're not perfect. Like I mentioned, the fit loosens a bit during wear, and while they've stayed intact so far, I can totally see how they might be a gamble for everyday use. If you've got super thick thighs or are really active in them, they might pinch or roll. And the material, while soft, doesn't feel indestructible. I'd definitely be careful around sharp jewelry, rings, or even pet claws. Those are like kryptonite to tights. But for what they are, a fun, affordable, stylish stocking for costumes or bold fashion moments, they absolutely deliver. I wouldn't rely on them for a 12-hour shift at work, but for a party, a photo shoot, or a date night with a theme, 100% worth it. All in all, I'm really glad I got these. They've already gotten more wear than I thought they would, and at only $8, I don't feel bad about it. They're cute, they make me smile, and they've held up better than I expected. I've seen some people say they got ripped right out of the package, but mine came perfect. No issues there. Would I buy them again? Yeah, probably in a different color. I saw they come in black and red, and even rainbow. I'm already low-key planning a pride outfit. So if you're looking for something playful, a little daring, and totally on trend for costume or casual wear, these are a solid pick. Just maybe keep a spare pair in your drawer and always roll them down gently. No yanking, promise me. If these fun, flirty stockings added a little spring to my step, imagine what they could do for your feed. Don't let your style saga go bare. Hit like if you're all in and subscribe for more bold pics that really step up the vibe. Stay fierce, stay fashion forward, and always strut your truth. See you in the next one.